youths in them are crashing out now. So, it's a crash out thing.
There's a Weasel?
Yeah, one of the rappers called Weasel. Weasel 35. It's from Rockstar.
So do you want to just get right into like how that relationship fell apart?
Found out he was a transgender.
Pressa.
Yeah.
You're up, man.
Found out he was a dyke. Found out he was a dyke. I can't show no dykes, no trannies.
It was over money though?
I gave them $1 million cash. They're disloyal.
So they got the million and then they just skated off.
I left them.
Uh-huh.
And you know, like when you have a girlfriend and they're like salty ex and they just keep trying to tarnish your name.
Right.
They're salty.
Okay.
They're salty. They're mad. They have nobody under their wing no more. I made Driftfoot.
Oh,
that should be my block.
That's what I was looking for.
That should be my block. Driftfoot, that should be my block. Tell me I'm lying.
And I'm the original crash out man. I'm the one that's why my name is Kamikaze. I'm the first one to do that. And on Project Bounce, that interview I did was like the first viral interview when it was the beef with me and Belly. And that basically started that, and then in comparison to now, it's just like everything before it was about the music. It was more about the music, and your music talk for you first to know about you more, but not so much into your personal lifestyle and what you're doing every day and all this type of shit. In Toronto and Canada, in America is different. They had decent stuff before that, but we were the first beef here that started that kind of trend here where now they're talking about, these man that's beefing and this and that with the music and whatnot. But now in the future, it's about that more. It's more about your lifestyle, your cloth, if you're a guy for real, if you're doing this for real, what gang you're with, what polys is going on, who's falling out with who has this beef with who. And this is what it's more about now. And it's like the music coming like it's almost secondary because you could be a big rapper now, but the one who has all the drama and this and that is going to be even bigger than you. And they look at like the one they call Top5. He's doing music, right? I haven't heard him put out no new music in a while, but he's one of the most viral on the thing. Right? And he's the most viral from in Canada and one of the most viral in the world and things online in hip hop culture right now. You know what I mean? And that's to show you that right now it's more about, podcasting, about someone's lifestyle, about history, what happened, beef, all this kind of shit. This is this type of shit that sells more now. I grew up in Finch too. That's why I first started banging before even Bono. It was in Finch. The first gang I was down with was Vice Lords. That's what I'm saying. And that was one of the first gangs in the whole
Trinidad.
Yeah, Casey Trinidad. That's my original name. Casey Trinidad. And it was with the Vice Lords. And that's one of the first gangs before everybody, fam. It was P.O. downtown. And then after P.O., you had P.O. with Bloods. And then after P.O., you had Vice Lords. And then after that, now that's when Finch used to be like one. And they never had no big beef until the beef and the problem happened with Dookie and Bumbalari. And Bumbalari got taken out. And Dookie, they said, was responsible for it. And then that's where that whole beef started. And then up to now, it's a 30 split, and it's a 30-year war. That's the same reason Junior D got killed. I didn't even finish tell Junior D's story. And we did a big epic show in Jane and Finch Mall with me, Junior D, and Smugglers. And it was at the Jane and Finch Mall. And it was one of the biggest shows ever. The mall was rammed, and everybody came to see us perform. And we're just local artists. And we did a big perform there, and Smugglers stole the show. Tell you the truth, Smugglers stole the show. Smugglers got the most forward and everything. All of us got big forward.
Ron Nosa says he has the show,
Get the footage. I beg you, fam. Get the footage.
He was there doing something at the community center and one of the artists asked him, and then he said he still has that show.
Right.
He has it recorded somewhere.
Right.
So it's crazy that show you guys is there.
That's one of my that's like my favorite show of what I ever did in my life. That show in Jane and Finch Mall was my favorite.
Yeah, I remember getting the media pass tags and everything for that.
My baby mother, my son's mother at the time was there with me, came from England. She's so fresh, like her style is off the chain. You coming from that London, England style. I remember she had on like a shirling jacket and some pink stuff, but she was fresh to death, had the whole place crazy. Everybody was crazy. And so that's what probably made me and Junior be separate, because he was liking my baby mother so much. And he liking her so much, and he used to try to slyly try to talk to her and this and that. And that made me think kind of stuff. But Junior D's my first rap partner. We had a 6-song called Cell Block.
It's known.
Yeah. We had a
Parts
sick
Unknown Records,
Parts Unknown. Yes, you remember Junior D's Parts Unknown, and he had Parts Unknown. And me and him used to be rap partner.
yeah. Smokers is his artist for a bit, and then I think they went with Apple after.
Yes, they were my Apple after.
Yeah.
And he made Parts Unknown
Mm.
after me and him. First was me and him was rap partner, and then when we were rap partner no more, then he made Parts Unknown. And there's a
Yeah.
legendary story that says even the boot camp clique got some of the stuff from Junior D. They took
Yeah,
Junior
I
D.
heard that.
They took Junior
Yeah.
D's style. They heard Junior D rapping. Same time when we were around them at Apple and all of that. And Junior D raps
Yeah,
now.
the reason, yeah, no, I remember, like, 'cause they said when they first came out, the rap like "I Got You Open,"
Yes.
and then when they came here, they did start rapping differently after that.
They start putting in the patois and all of this stuff in it. And
Yeah, it's true. They
how,
did start rapping differently.
and how Junior Lee used to rap, and they started doing that, and they blew up like that. And
Yeah,
Junior D was a sick rapper still. Junior D was mad sick, fam. And then I remember the night now. All of this is stemming from the same war, started from way back, 30-year war. Now fast we're in the future. And then Junior D cut somebody from up top. He cut somebody in their face. I don't remember how it went, but he cut somebody in their face. And
yeah,
and then after now, the sad part about it is that Junior D had changed his life. And even I was getting at him because he changed his life now. And this is after all this, after he cut the man, Junior D robbed so much, man. He used to be a robber, he used to speak Spanish, he used to speak English, used to rob cartel people, all kind of shit, fam. And then Junior D now
yeah,
said he changed his life and he just wants to do his rapping and he started going to church. And then he had his baby mother in connection and he used to take the youth them to school and drop them to school and pick them up back from school. But he never had no car in it. He used to do all of this by foot and he used to go to church on a Sunday. And I used to say, Junior D, you're a madman, fam. You know the type of things what man and man's in and what we're in, fam. You can't just switch up like that. You think the other man's gonna look at it like that? They're gonna look at it like you get soft, fam, and they're gonna try to get at you, fam. You know? And then after they had concert and they set up this concert and they said it was gonna be a truce. They said it was gonna be a truce between up top and down south side. And they said it was gonna be a truce now. And they brought all the man in there to rap and this and that. And they put Junior D on the bill. And then Junior D told me, we got to go do this and that. And I said, I'm not going, fam. He said, I ain't going. I'm not going. I said, you better go, Junior D. And he didn't listen to me and went. And then after that, now, about 12:30 or 1 o'clock or 1, I can't remember what time it is, my phone rang and I got the call. And they told me Junior D's dead. Junior D's dead. Junior D got shot. And I ain't saying, yeah, I know, but I'm just talking the truth. They said it was a set-up thing. And they said that whole show was a set-up thing. And to get Junior D, and I don't know how true or what it is, but this is what I heard in the streets. And now the war is still going on, and now they're using now in the modern time, and the war is more sick, and now the war is more sick now. And the youth them just need to stop, fam. Like this is a 30-year-old war, 35 years old war started. Now, Bumba Larry's dead and Dookie's dead. The two of them is dead. And this is how the whole thing started. Now the two of them gone. So the war shouldn't dead now too. The war is supposed to dead now too. How long the man is gonna go on with this shit, fam? You can't do no shows nowhere. The Paul board won't let you do it. You think you're going big, you think you're getting to all this money and you're doing all this shit. But you have a glass ceiling and you can't bust the glass ceiling because of all the beef and the war. The real money, people won't give you the real money and won't give you the real money. They won't because of all this war and all this fuckery.
No.
Now man and man can't even move comfortable. The youths can't move comfortable because everybody's sliding and spinning and this and that. And I really need to think and need to stop, fam. And no G or nobody not coming out and talking this, but I'm coming out and talking it. And I know the whole history. And I know more history and I know more shit. Valeria's gone from way back then. This started the whole war. Smoke Dawg is gone. That's Dookie's son. Houdini is gone. That's Margie Boy's son. You know what I'm saying? All this cycle keeps going on. And Pressa and Smoke Dawg was on the famous picture with Drake when they went on the tour with Drake. And they were supposed to be cool and supposed to be friends and everything like that. And you see them sleeping on the sofa together. And that's a legendary picture before both of them blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this and that. And then after now, the sub gang or the nether gang and meet them from up top there now, end up now taking out Smoke Dawg. And then now that just escalated the whole thing and mashed up the whole thing. And I've heard to my knowledge that them was niggas or Pressa and them and whoever they weren't so cool with that. You know what I mean? Because they never wanted that to go that way. This is what I heard. I can't vouch for it, but this is what I heard from the streets and the grapevine. And then and then Prestige, I know him from time. They used to call him Crazy Mark back in the days, Mark Gardner, and now he's Prestige, and that's from Prestige Compressor. You know what I'm saying? And this thing is going on too long, and it got to stop. Like, it doesn't make no sense warring over something that happened 30, 35 years ago. And then then the war falls on the kids, and then the kids get killed. And then they're beefing when instead they could have been making big money together. They could have been the ones them to crush that and stop that bullshit and become and do unity instead and be more advanced and don't perpetuate the same shit what we did and what your parents did and all this type of shit and do a new thing, show that you're advanced. You think like glorifying this shit and being in this shit and being on social media and talking all this dumb shit and back and forth like what Top 5 be doing, and then after that, your man gets killed. Talking shit in the day, by the evening, your man gets killed. He's in a wheelchair. Talking shit, and then your man gets stabbed up in the prison, and he's getting airlifted. Like, every time, back and forth, talking shit, running down on that man, beating him up, taking that man's check.
At one time, we were gonna manage Smoke Dawg.
Yeah. At one time, I wanted to, and
Yeah.
I was getting kind of close inside with their camp. And my homeboy, what I'm going to talk about is his son is part of that or was part of that. He used to roll with them. He grew up with them from Regent Park and Esplanade and everything. I used to roll like not a lot of times, but one time I rolled with them for a show, and I was with Smoke Dawg and them, and the front gate was giving problem, and I stepped up and talked and ironed everything out, and let them all go in, and that was my intention. And then I used to talk to Dookie later on and tell him that I wanted to do that, but this is after, but then he ended up dying. And he had the other manager and whatnot, and he ended up dying. But I feel like if I was his manager, I could have prevented that. If I was managing him, I could have prevented that just because of my seasoning and all you hear all the stories and the shit that I tell you. I'm like a wartime general now. I've been through enough deployment. I've been through enough things and survived. So it's like I'm an animal in the jungle. I'm like a lion in the jungle. I could smell it. I could feel it when it's coming. And I know how to maneuver. And I know how to get out of shit. And how to figure out shit. And I would tell the do's and the don'ts. Just like I said, I'm going to write the book. And the do's and the don'ts and this and that. I'm going to write the book for the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm disappointed that I never got a chance to do that I could have helped out and prevented something or tried to at least. And Smoke Dawg, tell you the truth, he's like my favorite young artist from out here, that was coming up. That Trap House doing numbers, Trap House doing numbers, that's like one of the best songs ever made in Toronto. To me, regardless of all the polys and the this and that. Like I said, I'm not involved in the poly. I'm beyond that. You know what I mean? So I'm not here to, be in this 35-year-old war. That was never ever my war. And I'm just affiliated with certain people, and those are my people, but I'm affiliated with all sides. Like I said, I used to manage and work with smugglers and them in the beginning of the career with you and everybody. So it's like, I'm not, trying to be in between with none of that shit. But who's my people? I know Dookie since we're little kids, babies. His dad and my dad grew up come from the same block in Trinidad. Dookie's dad, Ghetto, so he's a bad man too. He was in the first, he was in the first black on black shooting in the history of Canada. Was Dookie's pops. That was the first time was a black on black shooting. Was him. He shot a man and that Ghetto Soul, and he was always known as a bad man. You don't want to play with him. Since in Trinidad and even when he was here in Toronto. As we used to grow up and go by Suki music, and Suki's the first Calypso DJ out here, one of the first, we used to play all the soca music, and we used to have the regulars, and that was the crew, and Suki used to play all the music. We used to have a club downtown called Hagamins, you know, and they used to go there. And then Suki used to live on Eglinton, so he used to keep parties above Raps, and he used to keep parties in his apartment up there on Eglinton. And when we were little kids, way back in the day, your parents would take you to the party. They won't leave you home. And they want to go to the party, they would bring the kids there. So all them Trini parents used to bring their kids, and we used to be there, and we used to play in the room where they used to pile up all the jackets. They used to everyone just used to throw their jackets on the bed. That's all everybody did do back in the day. Just throw their jackets on the bed when it was winter time, and it would be a big pile of winter jackets just on the bed. And we would be in there playing and diving in the jackets, and we'll be there. And Duke used to be there, and I used to be there. Everybody used to be there. And I didn't even figure that out until we're big mans. Until we're big mans. Even till after he died and shit is when I actually really figured all of this out. Because Suki told me, I still talk to Suki. Sheridan Mall, when Dookie beat the charge and he came out, I remember the day. And then he went on Eglinton and like a friggin' Frank White. That's when he took on the name Frank White, because he went on Eglinton and said everybody he's home now, and just took food and get what he want, clothes, everything, and said he's home now. And everybody was talking about it all around, and everybody was shook. And then he went from there and he went up to Sheridan Mall. And then I happened to be going to Sheridan Mall that day, and I never seen him or know him since baby, and didn't see him or nothing. Don't know him that time. I didn't know him. So then after I was at Sheridan Mall that day, and then I seen him coming through the Sheridan Mall. And just the way how he was moving, and how he was moving so stout and so gangster, like this kind of way. Everyone was talking about it in the city, Dookie's out and this and that. And I seen it and I said, that's Dookie, you know. I know that's Dookie, and I seen it like that. But I didn't talk to him that time. And then fast forward, when I went to jail for my charge, when I told you at 19, that's who I was in jail with. That's when I was doing my time. I was up in Maplehurst, and the unit that I was on, Dookie was on that fucking unit. Our cells were on the same side, you know what I mean? The same lane where we were. He was down in the back part. I was in the front part, and he had Cowboy, and he had a couple more mans. And we were running that unit, and that's where I really met Dookie that now. When I got there, he told me like, oh, I knew you were coming. I heard about you, and I know you were coming up. I'm waiting for you to reach, and you know. And then after we started doing our thing, and then get out there, man. Get out the city. Go do shit. You're doing music. Go all over the place. Don't just stay in Toronto and beefing and going out with nonsense and think that's it, there's Toronto. There's so much. Canada's massive. Go everywhere with your music and do it big. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm here to do what I'm to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, who don't like it, that's too bad. You know, I don't tell nobody what to do or what not to do or what not to talk about. I don't tell nobody what to do with their life and how to conduct their life and what to say and what not to say. All the people, and they know who they are. Don't study me and stop telling me what the fuck to do. And if I'm doing something wrong or I'm doing too much. Next thing, people like to think what you're doing is going to affect your life. And then let me tell you something. The only thing that affects your life is what you think about your life. Your perception is your reality, not a next man's perception about you or what people feel about you. Yeah, and what people think and talk about you, that doesn't fucking matter. The more they talk about you, they're talking about me my whole life. Whether they have negative shit to say, it's like the negative shit is better. It's like the negative shit is more promo than the positive. I always make this analogy, you know. If you wake up tomorrow and you donate $10 million to the church, you know what I'm saying? Or you wake up tomorrow and you rob $10 million from the financial institution. Which one you think they're gonna talk about more? You're gonna get a little write-up about the fucking donating the money to the church. But you rob 10 million of financial institution, that's gonna be on every news, everywhere. Social media, everybody's gonna be talking about it.
The social media, the negativity draws people.
At the end of the day, all the people that, I'm not saying just go out there and be negative and talk negative and be a negative person and be negative. You see me, you know I'm not a negative person. I mean, you don't get no negative energy from me. But I take negative things that happen in my life and sell it. Negative things that happen in my life and make that gain traction and make people say, wow. Let them hear real shit. Because I also watch a lot of people and they think, oh, their life is the realest and they did the real shit. All in America and shit too. They think like Canada's soft. This is for all you Americans out there. They think like Canada's soft. Man, I mean, Canada's soft and this and that. That's what you think. You know what I mean? Maybe majority of the people are, but you have some real hoods out here that you don't want to go to and fuck around. And you have real niggas out here that been through real shit like me. Real shit, just like in America. Same amount of bullshit and same amount of fuckery, people dying, this, that, the third. Just like in America, right here. And I'm talking from way back in the day, not just now, but think now is the roughest. You had Year of the Gun. It's the roughest. When man, they shot in their head in Caravana.
I remember,
You know
I
what I'm
remember the
saying?
stats too, like all 93 times there, 92.
Yes, these are the roughest.
Yeah, I seen the graph. The thing was, it was high with the violence in the city. It actually
Yes,
dropped, and then it pick up again a little bit. That some of the gun time.
yes. Yeah. And in these
Because
times,
it goes by what you said, they weren't reporting a lot of the stuff too.
they were reporting ourselves. These times is when I was talking about. Every time when I'm telling you all these stories, that's what I'm talking about. From 93, from 93, them time all the way up. 93 for like 10 years was war. 93 all the way up to the 2000s was madness. You know what I'm saying? Like all the way up from like 93 time and up at like 98, all this time was serious gang war. That's when the gang was just started and up in my hood. And then all the way up to like 2014 and all these times, 15, all the way up till then, thing was madness outside. And you know the difference was? Man was outside for real. When you used to pass by a block and you go by blocks, everybody's outside. I remember I go by Regent Park and I see Imperial come out from Point Blank. Imperial come out on a bike with about 100 youths behind him and surround my Range Rover. What are you doing down here? Because down there you used to have to go to press vinyl down by back in the back there by Regent Park. And I went down there to press some vinyl and they see me and they come out the hood out of Regent Park, all of them on bicycle. They're outside. They used to come by vinyl. They used to know that. I remember Baby Grime, the rapper girl, Baby Grime, that's my homegirl.
Yeah, baby grind.
That's my homegirl in my hood. That's her cousin. Remember Baby Grime came down there to check her cousin one time, Kim, and she came down there and she's chilling with us. And I said, Baby Grime. And on the front page, it looked like it was quiet. Like, now she says, down here's quiet. It's like, nothing's going on here. I said, nothing's going on yet. I said, Baby Grime, come. And took her in the back of the alley around by Stone, Murder Alley, all them places. And when I took her, as soon as we bucked the corner and went in the alley, you just see about 100 men all over on the balconies, on the fire escape down here, barbecues going on, every man in red. Every man in red. She just went like this, oh my God. And I'm not lying. If you're ever to talk to her or interview her, she'll tell you. And she said, oh my God, I never knew it was like that. She just wanted to get out of there. Just wanted to get out of there, you know. But big up Baby Grime still, you know. It's my homegirl. You know what I'm saying?